Joe Biden's own words just nullified his pardons. He just admitted it. Joe Biden says he didn't personally approve a single pardon, except one, Hunter's. That means the rest, legally worthless. You know what I need you to do, people. Pause for the cause. Like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell, because guess what? You won't get this breakdown anywhere else. Roll the tape.
Hurry up.
Looks different. It looks authentic. In fact, if you look at the last name, it almost looks like the president was having a hard time spelling his last name there. Is this White House of the opinion that the only pardon that would count is one that the president signed himself?
It's very interesting. Very interesting props. If you want to bring them to my office later so I can take a closer look, I would like to do that. The president is making a good point when he discusses the usage of the autopen. Who was running the country for the past 4 years?
So let me get this one straight. Biden says he wasn't involved in the decisions. That means every J6, Fauci, and backroom buddy pardon got rubber stamped by someone else. The only one he physically signed, the family screw-up, of course, the one he couldn't throw under the bus. And the media's pretending this is normal. If Trump had done this, there'd be 24/7 emergency coverage with a live legal panel.
I think it's sort of reflective of my experience when I was there.
Yeah.
That there was a culture of evasiveness when it comes to transparency. I said to your colleague Rachel Campos Duffy a couple weeks ago that they were allergic to transparency, and if you weren't stonewalling, if you weren't hiding the ball, it was usually a sign of betrayal or disloyalty to the Bidens. But I just don't think that this bunker mentality approach is helpful reputationally to the Bidens, to Dr. B, and to the president. They should be full disclosure, full transparency, showing that they have nothing to hide. This bunker mentality is sort of a way that people approached politics in the 90s, and it's just not sustainable in the media environment we live in.
That point, though, Michael, can Ashley Williams or any of these witnesses credibly deny that they did not see Joe Biden's mental decline?
If they saw, I don't see how that's possible, given how close proximity and access they had. They had access to the residence. They had special badges. They were in charge of manifests and determined who was around Biden and when and how often and how frequent and for how long. They really were gatekeepers in the true sense of the word.
This is coming straight from the inside, someone who was actually there. He's confirming what we already suspected. If you weren't stonewalling, they saw it as betrayal. They didn't want accountability. They wanted total silence. And now the silence is collapsing. Because with Biden checked out, staffers were making executive decisions behind closed doors, using the autopin like a political weapon. This wasn't just abuse of power. This was a shadow government hiding behind a malfunctioning man.
Were you surprised when he answered? I mean, so the story about that is I called him, did not leave a message, and he called me back. And I answered and told him.
Sounds like something my dad would do. Sees a missed call. I was like, okay.
And I told him what I was doing, and he said he was open to having a conversation. Obviously, we talked. Our colleague, Josh Doocy, went to Mar-a-Lago and interviewed Trump. We thought it was really important to have a conversation with Joe Biden as well. He seemed open to that. He told me to call him the next day, which I did. I was somewhat surprised he answered the next day. He was getting on an Amtrak train. We had a very brief conversation, and he had to get on the train. Seemed like he'd be open to continuing, and his aides made that all but impossible.
Let that one sink in. Biden himself was actually willing to talk, but the moment his team found out, they shut it down and changed his phone number. That's not managing optics. That's containment. That's what you do when you're hiding the real condition of a person that's supposed to be running the country. They were running the clock out on his cognition, but now it's caught up with them.
The majority of Democrats did not want Joe Biden to run again for president. So the polling always said the party was not behind him. So you can imagine the party is not behind him right now either. I think there's, a lot of well wishes for his recent cancer diagnosis and concern for his health. But in terms of the future of the party, Joe Biden is not someone that's likely to have any role at all in that direction.
This is brutal. Even his own party has left him. They used him while he was useful. Now, They're tossing him aside like damaged goods. They know the scandals, they know the confusion, they know the signature by proxy. It's all politically radioactive. And they're trying to pretend it's Trump who's mentally unfit.
And so the thing I keep coming back to on a whole lot of things that the president does, I'm asking the question, why are we not talking about his mental acuity in the way we would if President Biden had been saying and doing a lot of these erratic things? And we're not. And I think we need to start having that conversation.
Oh boy. Here it comes. The classic Democrat deflection. Trump's out here doing 2-hour speeches, trial appearances, pressers, interviews, and they're trying to say he's the one in decline. Meanwhile, Joe Biden can barely finish a sentence, can't take a question without handlers, and his own party won't let him do interviews. The difference couldn't be more obvious. Trump's unplugged and Biden's on life support, with a team of staffers pulling the strings. The bottom line is, Biden's staffers ran the presidency, not him. They thought vague criteria would cover their backs. But now, the walls are closing in. The chief of staff gave the final order. The signatures are fake. The approval wasn't there. And that makes these pardons challengeable, legally, constitutionally, and morally. The same people screaming about democracy just ran the presidency like a covert operation. This isn't a legal gray area. It's fraud, and the American people have the right to be furious. Let's get real for a minute and give me your reactions. If Biden didn't review the pardons, who actually had the power, and how deep does it go? Should every Autopenned pardon from his term be legally reevaluated now? Is the media more upset that Biden wasn't in charge, or that we finally proved it? And how do you think this story would have played out if Trump had done the exact same thing? Drop your answers in the comments, especially if you got a theory they won't touch on cable news. Thanks for watching, people. And do me a favor before you roll out. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ring that notifications bell. And also share this with someone who's still coming out of the dark. Thanks again. God bless.
Listen.